Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Wilton Report. And for those of you who are new here, the Wilton Report is Princeton's only dedicated blog and video blog about the residential and sometimes commercial real estate market. So I apologize, I have not broadcast in a few weeks, and surprisingly did hear from a few people, like, where are you? But had personal stuff going on, and I just couldn't get to it. So that being said, we'll do a recap today of what's going on. It's always interesting. The real estate market's always interesting. So just as a reminder, for those of you who are not familiar with Queenston Realty is our, I guess you could say, our parent company. It's our real estate company. We also own Princeton Property Management Services. We also own Princeton Home Connections, which is an ADU development company. So if you're thinking of building an ADU here in Princeton, let us know. If you don't know what that is, go to princetonhomeconnections.com. And then for realtors who are looking for a better place to hang their referral license, we have Queenston Referral Associates. I would definitely just say check out queenstonreferralassociates.com, and just a great plan, great compensation plan on that. So that's who we are as a boutique real estate company. We are a little different. We were chatting with a customer yesterday, and he said, "What makes you different?" We won't even hire an agent unless they're a top producer. They have to have a very qualified book of business. So for those who are not familiar with Queenston Realty, that's who we are. We are a boutique here in Princeton. And the best way to get in touch with me always is text. Do not email me. Calling me is fine. I can always call you back. But if you want to call or text, the best number is 609-773-8054. Easy peasy. I'll get right back to you, or call me and I'll get right back to you. But email is not the best form of communication. I tend to have between 6 and 8 appointments a day, and I'm just not looking at email that often. So that being said, let's take a look at what's happening in the market. We'll kind of take a look at the national view. So again, if you don't follow my friend Lance Lampert on Twitter, you should, or LinkedIn, because he's just got great data. He runs a company called 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒 Analytics, and it's a residential and commercial real estate analytics company. And he posted something the other day that real estate home prices in the U.S. have appreciated or gone up by 494% over the last 40 years, right? And I guess you could say that's a finite supply issue, and we're going to delve into that. Obviously, locally, when you look at the top 10 biggest home price gains between 1984 and 2024, Washington, Oregon, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California, probably unsurprisingly, Hawaii, unsurprisingly, Utah. Okay. Had no idea. Montana, I would say unsurprisingly from what we've seen out west. Idaho, same thing. And then Maine, 605% in Maine. I'm going to guess of the 605% in Maine, 2/3 of that took place COVID or after, right? So the coastal states, obviously, with the exception of Utah, Montana, Idaho, have seen the largest depreciation because they have the biggest access to jobs in the country. But our good old state of New Jersey has increased 551%, which is, I guess, nothing short of incredible in that time frame. So the other thing too is, like, as we're looking at the market and as we're coming into this summer market, which is very different than the spring market, which we're going to talk about, keep in mind this, right? We are in an undersupplied housing environment, meaning there is not enough housing to meet demand. So what does that mean? It means we are 1.5 million units below on a national level. I cannot find data on New Jersey. I've been looking, so if anybody has anything, shoot it to me. But the interesting thing, this is done by Freddie Mac, the study. They're actually thinking that this is a conservative number, that the 1.5 million is low. So that, when you're looking at an appreciating environment like we have been, and we're 1.5 million units behind, well, it's not that hard to figure out why home prices are appreciating. So some level of good news in New Jersey, right? Year to date, in April, I apologize. We saw a 13% gain in new listings, single families in New Jersey. So April to April, 24 to 23, New Jersey saw a 13.2% increase in new listings, which is great. We need it desperately. Year to date versus last year, that's a 1.6% increase statewide. Condo townhouses statewide in April, 15%. So it's a little bit of a late spring. And something we had talked about here at the office in January, that the spring was going to be late. Like there was just nothing on the market January, February, March, April. Things have started to open up a little bit. So you've seen statewide 15.9% more townhouse condo inventory, and year to date 8% more. So that's better. And then the 55 plus is only 4.5% ahead of last April and 2% behind last year. So why is that? Because they're at the end of the real estate food chain. So look at it like this. The real estate market is a bottom-up environment. It's predicated by the first-time home buyer, right? The first-time home buyer buys a condo. The condo buys a Cape. The Cape buys a Split. The Split buys a Colonial. Colonial buys a McMansion. The McMansion buys a 55 plus, right? So the 55 plus market is at the end. And so you won't see a pickup in inventory in that market until last, if you will. You'll see it in the other market segments first, which we're starting to see, thank God. But that being said, even though, and this is April data, by the way, I will have May data at some point in the next few weeks, we are ahead of last year by 13.2%. However, we are behind the year before, 2022. So in 2022, 9,600 single-family listings came on the market. Last year, it was 6,508. This year, 73. So we're still 3,000 units behind. So the reason to celebrate, yes, market. Is there some level of choice? Not really, but it's a little marginally better across the state. Is it easing? We're going to go into that locally and talk about it. So looking at Princeton, when I broadcast on April the 3rd, 2024, we were at 41 homes for sale in Princeton. 4 single families under $1 million, 7 single families 1 to 2 million, 15 single families in the upper over 2 million, not under, over 2 million plus. As of this morning, we're still at 4 single families under $1 million. Now, we'll go into them in a second and talk about which ones are habitable and which ones aren't, because they're not that habitable. The biggest jump in inventory is in the 1 to 2 million mark. Why? Because stuff that used to cost under $1 million is now in the ones, and stuff that used to cost in the high ones is in the twos. And we're up to 24 single families in the 2 million plus range. So buyers are going to say, oh my God, market shifting. I can, negotiate. No, you can't. So this is literally a screenshot of all the homes for sale, single family in Princeton, right? Starting with 208 Ewing Street. 208 Ewing Street is like an 1,100 square foot house, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Is it habitable? Yeah. It came on the market at $699, has multiple offers. It's sold. Gone. And it's bought for lot value. It probably sold, in my estimation, about 150,000 more, and they'll probably knock it down and rebuild it because the town hasn't put a historic easement yet on that neighborhood. I hate historic easements, just so you know. 295 Western Way, habitable? Yes. Barely? Yes. Great house, unbelievable location in Riverside Walk Town, just in really rough shape. 73 Harriet. My understanding, there's water in the basement. Habitable? Is it habitable? I'm here with James on my team. A little bit rough. 42 Monroe, great house, split. I projected that to sell at 1.1, 1.15. So, 2 of the 4 below $1 million are not habitable. 2 of the 4 are sold. So it's not like buyers are like, wow, there's like choice. 122 Linden Lane has an offer. Woodside has an offer. Riverside Drive has an offer. 339 Hamilton came on the market today. Will be sold by Monday. So when you look at the market and the totality of the market, there's just not a lot available. And I do think you're seeing some investor activity, some profit taking, if you want to use a Wall Street term. There's some condos and townhouses that are being sold in Palmer Square. I think people are just kind of cashing out at high prices, which is great. But God bless them. It's an asset. And thank you for selling them because this is a great time to do it. So that being said, although Princeton has more inventory, of the 50 plus, I would say 10 have offers. So you're really net in the 40s. So it's not like we've seen this massive surge and things are changing. All of it got absorbed and is getting absorbed. West Windsor, this is scary, okay? So I have customers looking at West Windsor right now, and I have to tell you, it's rough. We put an offer on a house last week, 15 offers, and we were in the middle. And we were above asking price. We didn't really care if we got it or not. So it was more of an exercise in the process. So West Windsor, there's 20 homes for sale. 20 total. That's condos. That's townhouses. West Windsor has Canal Point. So Canal Point is a massive condo community. Massive. Right on the other side of the Princeton border. Right? Massive. Hundreds and, I don't know, maybe even thousands of units, but definitely in the hundreds. Then you have Toll Brothers just did a new build. You have Berrien City. You have all the new construction that's taken place in West Windsor over the last 20 years. 20 homes for sale in West Windsor. 20. And I can tell you, of the 20, 4 or 5 have offers. So, that I know of. And I'm sure that means more. So there's really net 15 in West Windsor that is available. It's insane. As a matter of fact, we were talking about it upstairs this morning. It's worse than Princeton. It's just brutal. Why? Commuter, schools, et cetera, et cetera. So Lawrenceville, this is actually, the next slide I'm about to show you is categorically insane because Lawrenceville is a big municipality. Big, super big. So how many available in Lawrenceville? 23. That should be 60. At least, right? There's a few condos and townhouses. I know several of offers because I was kind of getting ready for today's podcast and texting and chatting with the agents. So several have offers. So of the 23, you're really in the 15 to 17 range in Lawrenceville, potentially active. And that's the ones that I know of. There are more that are have offers. So it's just like Lawrenceville has 23. So in 2009, Lawrenceville would have 100, or 2010, 23 for sale. Why is that? People are locked in with low rates. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Nowhere to go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Cranberry. If you blink, you miss it. 5. There's 5. And we were chatting this morning upstairs. Cranberry has what we call a huge off-market market, meaning you need to be networked with an agent that knows the market, knows the players, because they move people around like chess pieces in Cranberry. Things don't come to the market. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. So again, there's 5 for sale in Cranberry. Not 15, not 25, which is, even by Cranberry standards, incredibly low. There are a fair number of off-market deals in Cranberry, meaning things that are selling that are not going to the market. Why? Because what's happening is seller at A address needs a home. So he moves to B address, the C address moves to A. They're literally moving pieces around the chessboard in Cranberry to help people get homes. It's very, very difficult. And it's very difficult everywhere, but this is sort of the summation of the market. The summary is this. It's been a late spring, meaning we're seeing some level of increase in inventory. We are seeing some level of increase in availability statewide. Locally, we are not seeing it. So again, if you're reading the headlines about what's happening in Florida, inventory is like doubled in Florida. It's really fascinating. That being said, if you look at and you track the market, there are markets where prices are still headed up. Why? Because in those segments of the market, there's no inventory. There's high demand. And other segments, right? For a lot of different reasons, which I already get into, because it's like political, people are leaving the state, right? So in certain segments, people are moving in. It's very subjective. It's very local. So here's my summary. If you're looking to buy, text me. If you're looking to sell, text me. We will give you a no BS analysis of what's happening in the market, because even what's happening in Palmer Square doesn't affect the single family home market in Riverside, right? So there was 3 condos for sale in Palmer Square. I think they all have offers. 4 actually. I know 2 or 3 that have offers. So there is some profit taking happening, which is great. It means people are putting inventory on the market, but it is being absorbed. So I think we're peaking in terms of inventory for the year. I do think that there is more choice in the 2 million segment in Princeton. But that being said, you know, we have a few $2 million listings. They all have offers on them. So it's not like there's not like a tables have turned here. Is it getting better? Yes. Are we in this market for the long term? Yes. It just is what it is. So if you have any questions, obviously reach out, let us know. I will be back next week to kind of keep you guys updated. I apologize about the break, but like I said, stuff does happen. So enjoy the end of May, beginning of June. It's beautiful out today, and I will see you guys next time here on the Wilton Report. Thanks, everybody.